So, when I came into creative presentation, at first I didn't really know what to expect. The title kind of gives it this idea that we're going to learn some new fancy ways how to be able to present our ideas off to other people, but really became a lot more than that. Um, as we got further on into the class, we started to learn more of the technical and more of the personal things that make presentations so great. The things that allow people like Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, even people like Hitler to be able to just stand alone for everybody else in history. It was the ability to be able to connect with people with their words and beyond that as well. The way they carried themselves, what they presented amongst their peers, the visuals, how they looked, and everything around them as well. The the visual part about it, I think, was the part that mainly struck out for me as well, just because since I am a game art major, um, that is going to be a huge part of what I do every single day. I'm going to be drawing and I'm going to be creating different designs and realizing that a simple thing can really throw somebody off, like a simple miscolor and things like that. Maybe a letter over here, it doesn't match the color of the letters over there. Things can really disconnect people off from what you're trying to bring as a whole. And I found that to be extremely important just because I knew beforehand when I was in my old science classes, or maybe when I was in just any sort of class beforehand, and I had to present something in front of the class, I usually just threw mismatched pictures here and there without thinking about how much space I left in the background for the white to show through or the black. And now going through this class, I realized that I was making such simple mistakes and I was losing the thing that I should have been doing my hardest to be able to keep, and that was the attention of my audience. And that is another thing that I learned when I was going through this class is that the audience is truly important to every presentation. Like some of the TED Talks said, the audience is your hero, and they're the ones that you truly are trying to bring this idea towards. Now, if you don't take the time to be able to really look at who the audience is, maybe it's a bunch of mothers, maybe it's teenagers, maybe it's a company that you're attempting to get hired by. Who knows? But in the end, if you don't understand what your audience is coming from, then you won't be able to connect with them and be able to get your point across in the most efficient way that you could have. Going beyond that, we also learned that there's a lot more with the psychological things that as you're saying them, like with the golden rings about the why, the how, and the what, things like that can really make your idea greater just because of how you get it across. Like from the video that the teacher has showed us with if people start from a what, they seem to have less success later on in the future than the people that start with the why. People like to go with a cause. They like to go with your beliefs, not with what you're trying to give them. Now, this also struck a chord inside of me as well, just because I never paid attention to that at all. I never thought of why maybe I really enjoyed listening to somebody talk. But then when I went back and I really thought about everybody I ever listened to and made a huge impact in my life when it came to speaking, they had done exactly that without me ever noticing. And that simple thing made them go from good to great and then great to amazing. And I decided to take that further and realize that I need to be able to bring that into my everyday life. That when I am presenting myself to my peers or to my parents, even, or even to another coworker, I need to be able to bring out my beliefs, my passion. They will be more willing to come aboard what I am doing because of that. Now, with creative presentation, I realized that I had a difficult time bringing in the feedback that I received at times before I take this class. But the teacher really marked it into us is that without the feedback, you cannot improve because you don't know what you're improving on. You have to be able to look from somebody else's point of view and see what is wrong. In your eyes, everything is through rose colored filter, while in reality, it could be the worst thing anybody's ever heard in their lives. Now, feedback started to become a little bit easier for me to do. I think I still have a bit of a problem, but as I'm going to go through my career later on, I'm going to take the lessons I learned from the class and really develop and be able to help myself learn a lot more. So that way I won't be able to, you know, fall behind everybody else just because I wasn't willing to improve upon such simple things that I thought was fine to begin with. All right, that is it. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one.